to change that with a win this evening. He's ready, so is Jurickson Profar. And now for the ball game. The first pitch will miss low, 1 ball and no strikes. Starting up at 6:07 Eastern and 5:07 Central. 75 degrees here in Philadelphia. What a beautiful day, turning into a gorgeous evening here on the south side of Philly. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Jurickson Profar, and a ball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. For Sanchez, we mentioned that loss in his last start. He was coming off an outing prior to that where he had a dozen strikeouts versus the Mariners. So a guy that when he's really locked in gets lots of swings and misses. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way to Jurickson Profar. Profar, a huge swing and a miss and a sinker up and away. That came in at 96. And a 2-1 count now on Jurickson. Profar, the switch hitter, batting from the right side. 2 for 9 in this series. He was on base once last night, drove in the Braves' only run of the game. 2-1 pitch to Profar. That'll be bounced foul into the Braves' dugout down the third baseline. The time of the first pitch tonight brought to you by Schumann Farms. Look for real sweet brand Vidalia onions from Schumann Farms in a store near you. If you're just now finding us on your radio, welcome aboard. Just started. First batter of the game. No score in the top of the first. And the 2-2 pitch on the way from Sanchez. And a fly ball towards left field. Coming in Weston Wilson. Jogging to it. Makes a head-high catch and 1 down. Phillies have been doing a lot of winning this season, and that's certainly the case for when they have Sanchez on the mound. Phillies have gone 18-8 in his starts this year. And he has seen the Braves now 7 times in his career, tonight being the 7th appearance and his 6th career start versus the Braves. And he's never beaten Atlanta. He's had some good outings versus the Braves, but he's never earned a win versus the Braves. 0-3 with a 4.11 ERA. Pitch on the way to Matt Olson. There's a called strike. Adam with a first pitch sinker at 96. Braves saw Sanchez back on May 29th. That was in Atlanta. Sanchez worked into the 6th inning, gave up 2 runs on 7 hits, got a no decision in a game the Phillies eventually won. 0-1 on the way to Olson, and he swings and misses at a sinker, 0-2. Matt Olson's had a good series, 4 hits, 3 of them last night. Waiting on the 0-2 pitch. And he'll take a cold third strike. That's a beautiful changeup, like you mentioned, Darren. That pitch falls off the table, and that's exactly what that looked like.
Yeah, really nasty changeup at the bottom of the strike zone. And I think the only people in Philly that are having a worse day than left-handed hitters are maybe Cowboys fans, because these 2 starting pitchers we have going here tonight are just death to lefties.
Yeah.
Matt Olson is kind of an outlier in that aspect, really handles lefties well, and he has here in this series in Philly. Last night, 3 hits off tough lefties.
So 2 down for Ronald Acuna. No score in the top of the first inning. Sanchez brings it. Acuna takes the ball low and inside.
But between these 2 starting pitchers this season, they've only surrendered 8 extra base hits to left-handed hitters, which is ridiculous. Christopher Sanchez, only 3.
There's the 1-0 pitch. And Acuna swings and misses. So if you're a lefty tonight for either team, it's going to be quite the challenge against these 2 southpaws.
Yeah, and you look up and down the lineups, and the only lefties playing are lefties who handle lefties well or superstars.
1-1 on Ronald Acuna. No score in the top of the first inning. 1-1 from Sanchez. There's a ball low. For Sanchez, tonight is his 99th Major League appearance and his 80th career start in the big leagues. A career record of 28-21 with a 3.36 ERA. And an All-Star last year. Should have been an All-Star this year. You want to talk about a snub. This guy should have been there. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Acuna swings and misses. Sounded like he might have got a piece of the changeup, but tipped it into the glove of JT Realmuto. So make it a 2-2 count on Ronald Acuna. Should he reach, Ozzie Albies would come to the plate. Wind up in the 2-2. Acuna sends one foul. That'll become a souvenir into the second deck along the right field line. Both of these guys have similar builds, both very tall, both very lean. They're both 6'6". There's the 2-2 pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna. And Acuna swings and misses for strike 3. A changeup got him. And Sanchez blitzes through the Braves in the top of the first inning, finishes with a couple of strikeouts. We go to the bottom of the first inning, Braves nothing, and the Phillies coming up when we come back.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if we can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco, his 13th, and it's a one-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Summer in the South means a few things: baseball, grilling out, and Vidalia onions from Schumann Farms. Vidalia onions are the champagne of onions. It can only be a Vidalia if it's grown in a specific region of South Georgia where the soils are just right for providing that signature sweetness. So look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand Vidalia onions at your local grocery store this summer and enjoy the champagne of onions. Flavor guaranteed. Special occasion optional. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
At Georgia Power, we know that energy costs are an important part of every budget, and we're committed to providing tools and assistance to make a difference. Learn more at georgiapower.com/myenergy.
Stream Braves baseball in crystal clear HD on the Fan app, now with Apple CarPlay, so you can get it directly through your dashboard. Download the Fan app now.
Into the bottom of the first inning at Citizens Bank Park. Great to have you with us on a Saturday night. Braves and the Phillies in the third game of this series. It'll be Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper on the mound. Rather at the plate, I should say, facing Chris Sale, who goes to the mound. And a pitch from Chris misses high. For Chris, this is the first time we've seen him since June 18th. And he'd missed about 2.5 months with a fractured rib cage. And great to have him back out there. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Trey Turner. Turner 1 for 7 in the series. Sale fires. There's a called strike. Hits the inside corner. You know, you mentioned the pitch arsenal for Christopher Sanchez. 3 pitches, sinker, change, slider. Chris's isn't a whole lot deeper. Doesn't need it to be. There's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Trey Turner. That'll miss outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry with Chris Sale as well. He does have 4 pitches, the 2 fastballs, 4-seam, sinker, a slider, and a changeup, but you're going to see a lot of those sliders over 50% of the time, and for good reason.
2-1 from Sale. And just missed outside with a slider. 3 balls and a strike on Trey Turner.
Yeah, he's missed a couple months of action here, but he still has what's graded out to be the best slider in the major league. So that's where his game begins and ends, is with that good slider.
3-1 is high and outside. This with a fastball, so a leadoff walk, maybe a little bit of rust to knock off for Sale. Here's the leather for the Braves. Matt Olson at first base. Ozzie Albies at second base. Nick Allen at shortstop. And Nacho Alvarez is the third baseman. And the outfield for the Braves, Jurickson Profar in left field. Michael Harris in center. Ronald Acuna in right field. Drake Baldwin is the catcher. Chris Sale on the mound, making his 16th start of the season. Kyle Schwarber, 5 for 9 in the series. First pitch he sees is a slider over for a called strike. Schwarber, 49 home runs. That leads the National League. Also leads in RBIs with 119. Batting .249 on the season. Turner, a big lead at first base. He leads their team in steals. Pitch on the way from Sale. Slider outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sale, 6'6", 180, lefty from Lakeland, Florida, 36 years old. He's gone 5-4 this season with a 2.52 ERA. And again, this is his first start since coming off the 60-day IL with a fractured rib. There's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Kyle Schwarber. Turner on the move, pitch on the way, swung on, miss, throw down to second base, feet first slide, and Turner's in there with a steal. Trey Turner with his team-leading 33rd steal of the year. That's out of 40 chances.
Yeah, that was a good throw by Drake Baldwin, but that bag was stolen on Chris Sale. Chris is tall, long legs. Takes him a while to get that knee all the way up to his chest. And so if you can pick the right time to go, you got a little bit extra time.
Time called as Schwarber backs out of there. A ball and 2 strikes on Schwarber. He had a single last night. That's his only hit this series that didn't land in the seats. 1-2 pitch. Missed outside with a fastball. Coming in there at 96.
Yeah, that's good to see here early. 96. You know, there might be, you mentioned there might be some rust after the long layoff. But so good to see that 96 high velo here early in the game.
No score. Bottom of the first inning. Turner lead at second. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, miss. Showed him some gas right there. Came across with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball and has his first strikeout of the game. And that is our Gas South bringing the heat strikeout. Just like Chris Sale, Gas South is bringing the heat with no deposits, no hidden fees, and simple natural gas plans. This difference is good. 1 down for Bryce Harper. Back-to-back lefty sticks in the order, Schwarber and Harper. Pitch on the way to Harper. That swung on and missed. We mentioned how difficult of a night it could be for left-handed batters. But you could have any lefty in the history of the game out there, and Schwarber and Harper are going to be in the lineup. 0-1 on Bryce Harper. Sale set right at the belt. Pitch on the way. And he flails and he gets a piece of it and just kind of fouled it off right there at the back point of the plate.
Yeah, really half-hearted swing there by Harper. He saw it as a fastball, turned out to be a slider. And those are the swings you're going to see off Chris Sale's slider. Very common. Guys just don't pick it up.
0-2 on Harper. Sale a glance to second. Leg kick in the 0-2. Missed tied outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Like we mentioned, Sale, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League, and hasn't pitched since June 18th. He was stellar that last time we saw him. 8 2/3 scoreless against the Mets, and injured himself diving for a play. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way to Bryce Harper. And Harper with a big wild swing and a miss. That time got him with a slider. He was nowhere near that pitch, and 2 down. Folks, head to 680thefan.com/Diamond Days to register for your chance to win and be a Brave for a day on the field at Truist Park with Braves alums and Solomon Brothers Jewelers. Solomon Brothers is the preferred jeweler of the Atlanta Braves. 2 down for JT Realmuto. Sale walked Turner, who stole second, with back-to-back strikeouts from Schwarber and Harper. Turner on the move, got a big lead. There's a ball low and inside, 1-0. Turner goes in standing. If Sale had stepped off, he'd had him easily. Stolen base number 34 of the season for Trey Turner. And he's at third base with a 1-0 count on Realmuto. Left on right matchup. Pitch on the way from Sale. Missed inside with a fastball and a 2-0 count. For Chris, this is his 7th career start versus the Phillies. He's gone 2-2 against them in his career. He's posted a .450 ERA versus the Phillies. And the last time he saw them was back on May 29th when he beat them. There's the 2-0 pitch from Sale. Check swing, he went. Fastball 97 from Sale. That last time he saw the Phillies, 6 scoreless innings, had 8 strikeouts. Braves have won both of the starts that Chris has made versus the Phillies this season. And Sale got a no decision in one and a win in the other. All right, here's the 2-1 pitch on the way from Sale. There's a good breaking ball right off the table, a slider over for a strike, 2-2. That's a knee buckler.
He's not showing much rust here. I mean, the fastball's 97, 96 consistently. Slider is really biting. I think you get him with either pitch here.
Let's see which one he selects. The 2-2. A swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. And did that get a piece of him?
It hit him in the leg. The most embarrassing type of strikeout.
So he strikes out Realmuto on a pitch that hit him. And that ends the inning. Well, Sale might have had a little bit of rust on that walk to Turner. He worked through it, striking out Schwarber, Harper, and Romuto. We go to the top of the second, no score.
Ever wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grit.
Introducing baseball's all-new national pregame show, MLB Tonight, live at 5. Join Greg, Harold, and Dan, and a star-studded roster for a preview of all the night's matchups. Get a first look at the lineups.
Everything looks good right now for the Yankees.
First take from the players.
I'm just excited to put any pair of cleats on.
And the first of many breakdowns before the first pitch. A full night of baseball starts at 5. MLB Tonight's national pregame show. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on MLB Network.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Listen for me with the Locker Room Team, Tuesday and Thursday mornings from 6 to 10 on 680 The Fan.
Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. Into the top of the second inning. Beautiful evening in Philadelphia. Crystal clear blue sky overhead. Sun setting down the left field line, still illuminating the stands in right field. In fact, the center fielder Bader and the right fielder Castellanos standing in the sun, but everybody else in the field standing in the shade. Last night, the wind was blowing in from left center towards the right field corner. Tonight, it's blowing straight in at about 12 miles an hour, and that certainly favors the pitchers as if they needed anything else to go their ways. Sanchez and Sale, that's our pitching matchup tonight. A couple of dandies. Pitch swung on and missed by Ozzie Albies. It's Albies, Baldwin, and Murphy for the Braves here in the top of the second. Braves went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first as Sanchez had a couple of strikeouts. And then Sale topped him with 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the inning. Ozzie Albies swings and rolls one foul and an 0-2 count. Second inning is the Toyota Stolen Base Challenge inning. And if the Braves steal a base here in the top of the second, tonight's contestant, David Summers, will win $250 in free marathon gas cards. You can enter the Toyota Stolen Base Challenge by visiting Braves.com/Stolen Base Challenge. Pulling for David Summers tonight, and the Braves stolen base here in the second. 0-2 to Ozzie. A little bit low and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You'd imagine that from afar, the Tampa Bay Rays would look at Christopher Sanchez and think, boy, that's the one that got away. He was originally in the Rays organization. 1-2 pitch to Ozzie. And a bouncer to the left side. They'll test out Turner. He retreats in a shallow left. Backhands, throws over, skips by Harper. And that rolls over to the railing of the dugout. Ozzie was going to beat it out either way as he hit that to the right of Turner into the hole. And Ozzie's aboard. It will be a leadoff single.
And Trey Turner is actually having the best defensive season of his career this year, working with the Phillies infield coach, Bobby Dickerson, who I was on a team with. He's one of the best infield coaches in the major leagues, and it seems like his work with Trey has finally paid off. But that play, you're not making that play. You're deep in the 6 hole. Ozzie's booking it down the line. Good luck there.
Ozzie with his 3rd hit of the series. Here's Drake Baldwin. Left-on-left matchup. Pitch on the way to Drake. And a ball low. Well, we were talking about how difficult a night it could be for left-handed batters. Drake, one of those guys. But a runner at first base. It's the first Braves base runner of the game. Ozzie held by Harper over there at first base. Long pause and the 1-0 pitch. And Baldwin sends one foul up the first baseline a few feet. Talking about Sanchez originally being with the Rays. He signed with the Rays when he was 16 years old out of the Dominican. And he spent 6 seasons in their organization, made it as high as AAA, and then was traded after that to the Phillies for Curtis Mead. And Sanchez has blossomed in the Phillies organization. Like we mentioned, an all-star last year and a Cy Young contender this year. 1-1 pitch, line drive, past a diving Turner, and a base hit into center field. So Drake Baldwin left on left, solved Sanchez, turned around the changeup, and the Braves have back-to-back singles in the second.
Yeah, as if you need something more to be excited about regarding Drake Baldwin. He actually has a higher batting average and slugging percentage against left-handed pitchers, which is probably why he finds himself in the starting lineup here tonight. He's got such an advanced approach at the plate, and the fact that he can handle tough lefties, as we just saw there, probably the hardest hit ball of the game, is just icing on top of the cake.
That was a matchup of one guy who could be the Cy Young Award winner in the league and another guy who could be the Rookie of the Year in the National League. Here's Sean Murphy, runners at first and second. First pitch on the way to Murphy, and a called strike. Sanchez started him off with that nasty changeup. No runs, 2 hits for the Braves. No runs, no hits for the Phillies. Hits weren't the problem last night for the Braves. They had a dozen of them. Just 1 run scored. Hoping for a big frame here versus Sanchez. 0-1 swung on, missed. That time perplexed him with a slider, 0-2. Murphy's average at 208. He's the DH tonight. And it's Ozuna, who at least in the starting 9 gets a night off. Could see him later in the game, of course. After Murphy, it'll be Harris. Ozzie Albies at second. Drake Baldwin at first base. To Murphy. Low and outside. Laid off the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big Saturday night crowd. Been big crowds this entire series. They announced 41,293 on Thursday night. They announced just over 40,000 last night. And tonight looks like the biggest night of the bunch to this point. 1-2 pitch. Murphy takes one low and in. Laid off another slider. Count even 2-2. Lights on here at the ballpark, although there's plenty of daylight left in the Philly skyline. Home plate umpire Lance Barrett gets 4 brand new baseballs from the bat boy that just disappeared into the Phillies dugout down the first base line. Sanchez a look to second. Now the 2-2 to Murphy. He swings and bounces one out to Turner. Could be 2 to second. They get 1. So-so, but to first they get 2. Taylor made 6-4-3. Ozzie at third base, but 2 down.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the reality when you're facing Christopher Sanchez, second in the league for starter ground ball percentage. So, yeah, he really takes advantage. That's actually his 15th ground and double play of the year. It's just going to happen with a guy with a power sinker and a changeup that he possesses.
That's the 8th double play hit into by Murphy this year. Here's Michael Harris. Harris takes ball low and outside. It leaks through Realmuto. He can't find it. Now he does. Ozzie thought about it. He charged almost halfway down the third base line, but then Realmuto found it. It was right on the edge of the grass, back behind him, behind the batter's circle. No score, top of the second. Runner at third for the Braves and 2 down. Michael Harris, 2 for 8 of the series. Left-on-left matchup. Sanchez fires. Harris swings and misses. That was that sinker down, coming in at 96.
We talked about Olsen and Baldwin really handling themselves well against lefties. Michael has not enjoyed facing Sanchez in the past. He's 2 for 12 with 8 strikeouts.
Trying to find a hole, driving Ozzie. 1-1 and a bouncer to the right of Turner. He secures, gets rid of it quickly, and a bang-bang play goes the Phillies' way. Turner was shaded to his left. He had to go to his right backhand and cut it loose accurately to first base for the out. And the Braves strand the runner at third. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the second inning, no score.
Your day in baseball starts with MLB Central. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must come.
Chris Sale on the mound, and his first pitch to Alec Boehm swung on, fouled back. Alongside Darren O'Day and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick. Ben Ingram here with you on a breezy evening in Philadelphia. Sale rubs up a brand new baseball. Chris looking like himself tonight. First time he's been out there in 2.5 months, and he struck out 3 batters in the first inning. Boehm with a bouncer out to third. Taken on the second hop, knee high by Nacho. His throw crosses in time, 1 down. Only the original Louisiana brand hot sauce is bold enough to be the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. That's the original Louisiana brand hot sauce. Louisiana hot, buy you some. 1 down here in the second inning. For Chris Sale, this is his 15th major league season. And it's a career worthy of Cooperstown one day. 143 wins, 87 losses, a career .302 ERA, and 9 times an All-Star, including this season. Pitch on the way to Castellanos, over for a called strike. The 3 strikeouts that he has in this game has his career total up to 2,531. Now that's good enough for 37th all-time. 0-1 pitch, missed up and in. He's 6 strikeouts away from passing Bartolo Colon and Javier Vasquez for 35th all-time. So he could certainly reach that tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike on Castellanos. Sale brings it. Castellanos takes a fastball up and away.
And that's a great example that baseball is for all bodies. Chris Sale and Bartolo Colon next to each other on a very prestigious list.
That's a great point. The lean lefty Sale brings the 2-1 pitch. And a fly ball towards right field. Ronald Acuna sprinting directly to his left at the foul line. Opens his glove, makes a basket catch, and goes into the sidewall. Terrific pursuit by Ronald Acuna. Good read, good jump, went immediately to his left, running full throttle towards that sidewall, and has it for the out.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's one of his better routes that we've seen, and really was turning on the jets to get to that, and just made the catch inside the foul line.
That's probably the best we've seen him run.
Agreed.
Out there in the outfield in a while. 2 down for Harrison Bader. No score, bottom of the second inning. Bader takes a ball high and outside. Bader loves the colors of pink and purple. All his batting gloves and shin guards and wristbands, always pink and purple, at least anytime we've seen him this season, regardless of team. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike on the inside corner. Bader was originally with the Twins this season, and they traded him at the deadline. That was not the Joan Duran deal. Phillies made 2 deals with the Twins in consecutive days, 1 for Duran and 1 for Bader. 1 ball and 1 strike on Harrison Bader, and he takes a fastball high. Bader has been hot. He had 4 hits in game 1 of this series. He's batting 7th in the order tonight. Takes a big swing and a miss. That time a fastball by him at 96 at a 2-2 count. Bader, 5 extra base hits over his last 8 games and batting .538 in that span. But Sale trying to cool him down right here. 2-2. Toodaloo. He tips that into the middle of Drake Baldwin. A fastball got him, and for Chris Sale, it's a 1-2-3 second. He has 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. We go to the top of the third, no score.
Hard hit ball to short, scooped up and tossed to second. Quick turnaround. It's good.
3 in Miami. And now 4 games here in Philadelphia before we head to Chicago to see the Cubs for 3. Pitch on the way to Nacho Alvarez. And a called strike on Nacho. Nacho 2 for 7 in the series, getting his first look at Christopher Sanchez. Wind up in the 0-1. That'll be fouled off. Sanchez, black glove on his hand. Examines the new baseball that he just received from his catcher, JT Realmuto. Kicks and brings the 0-2. And Nacho swings and misses at a changeup for strike 3. Third strikeout for Sanchez.
Talking to some of the Phillies broadcasters before the game, they said that the canary in the coal mine, whether Sanchez is going to be good, is that changeup. And his last start against the Mets, where he had his worst start of the season, he caught his spike on the mound in the 3rd inning and lost his changeup the rest of the way, and that's where all of his trouble happened, was in those later innings. So it must have thrown him off and lost the feel for that pitch.
Looks like he's got for the feel for it tonight. Nick Allen takes a called strike. How could catching a spike on one pitch cause you to suddenly lose the feel of that one pitch?
Well, I think it's probably more mental for him. I think he probably was worried about an injury. He blew out an ACL or something doing that.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bouncer out to short. Backhanded by Turner. Off balance throw. Pulls Harper off the bag, but he applies the tag to the incoming Allen. Harper was set up on the bag waiting for the throw from Turner, but he could tell that throw was drawing him off the bag towards the plate. And that took him right to Allen, and 2 down. So now back to the top of the order to Jerks and Profar. Let me ask you a question. And you probably don't know the answer to this, but would you suspect that the pitch that he caught his spike on, he was throwing a changeup, and therefore it was in his mind the rest of the way every time he threw it, thinking he might catch another one?
A very good possibility.
2 down to Profar. That'll miss low.
The thing is, when you're throwing a changeup, if you have too much hand or wrist tension, if his adrenaline spiked and he just couldn't feel the changeup anymore, that also can really hinder the movement on it.
1-0 pitch. That'll be fouled off. But with everything that you've seen from Sanchez, you'd probably have no problem saying he should be their number 1 come the postseason with Wheeler out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's plus stuff, and it's really good command, and he's just so consistent. Those ground balls will keep him out of trouble as well.
1-1 on Profar. He's over 1 with a flyout. Takes a big hack at a changeup and missed. Well, that changeup's so effective. It's got the batters on the front foot, and that pitch just dies of exhaustion by the time it gets there. It's like it never arrives. 1-2 to Profar. And Profar rockets one into center field in for a base hit. Turned around a sinker, and it's a 2-out single. That's the 3rd hit of the game for the Braves. Keeps the inning going for Matt Olson. Olson enters play tonight with 16 homers in 35 career games in this stadium. Only 2 visiting players have more homers in this building between the regular and postseasons. One is Freddie Freeman. The other one is Juan Soto. Both have 17. Olson strikes one hard deep down the right field line towards the corner, and a foul ball right outside the chalk. Coming off the bat, it looked like it might lay down right on the chalk, but first base umpire Carlos Torres throws the hands up and said foul. Oh, 0-1 on Matt Olson. Olson struck out looking against that changeup back in the 1st inning. No score, top of the 3rd. Profar lead at first base. 0-1 to Olson. And a ball outside. Matt batting .269 this season. 1-1 pitch. big chopper, left side, giving ground and gloving in shallow left. Turner cuts it loose, right on the money. What a play by Trey Turner. He wasn't just on the first cut of the grass and left. He was a good 8 feet back of the infield cutout and still made that play, and he jogs off the field with a smile.
Great moment.
Sosa, Wilson, and Turner for the Phillies. That's 8, 9, and 1 in Rob Thompson's order. Chris Sale ready to go back to work. This is his 31st pitch of the game, and he starts off Sosa with a called strike. Well, if you're going to win in Philadelphia, among other things, you got to pitch, first and foremost. There's the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edmundo Sosa. And Sosa hits a high fly ball to center. Michael Harris looking up into that clear blue sky. Under it, makes the catch. And one down. We mentioned earlier, if you're going to hit one out tonight, good luck, especially to center field. Wind blowing straight in, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now it's hit right into the teeth of the wind there, one down. Last night, the Braves had pitching, just didn't have timely hitting. That cost them the game. But before you accomplish anything, you have to have it figured out on the mound, especially against this lineup. And, of course, the Braves know all about the challenges of playing here. Weston Wilson takes a called strike. If you go back to the beginning of 2022, it include the postseason, the Braves have gone 14-18 in this ballpark. That's not bad, actually. Not a place to come in and really enjoy a lot of success for most teams. There's a ball low and in. But, of course, the games that you wanted the most are the ones that you lost in the 2022 and 2023 division series. Braves are eliminated on this field 2 years in a row. 1-1 on Weston Wilson. Scoreless game of the third and the 1-1 pitch. He swings and misses. All time, the Braves are 10 games under 500 in this ballpark. As it opened in 2005. Actually, it might be 4. Maybe 2004 when this place opened. Braves have gone 92-102. At Citizens Bank Park. Yeah, that's since 2004. That'll be fouled back. Phillies have called lots of ballparks home. Of course, they were in the Vet for many years, Shive Park and others. And all time in franchise history, the Braves have 551 wins in Philly, 590 losses. 1-2 pitch, just a little bit low, and 6 ties.
How about that?
6 ties. Now, all those are mostly because of darkness, as they were before lights had been installed. But it's funny, in a baseball game notes to see wins, losses, and ties. There's the 2-2. And Wilson with a high towering fly ball to left field. Back to the wall, Profar. That one beats the wind and lands 10 rows deep over the left field wall. And of all men in the lineup, it's the man batting ninth who strikes versus Sale. A solo homer. It's 1-0 Phillies.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. Wilson's in there just because he bats from the right side. Giving Max Kepler and Brandon Marsh a night off in the outfield, and that lineup move paid off. He got himself a fastball out over the plate and put a hurting on it. I mean, as you mentioned, he earned that, hitting it right into the teeth of the wind.
Hardly a usual suspect when it comes to this team. Trey Turner's going to hit one in the air to right center field. That's in for a base hit. Ronald can't get there to cut it off. It goes by him, goes to the wall. Turner slows as he goes into second base. And on back-to-back swings, it's a homer for Wilson and a double by Turner. And they have a man in scoring position with one down. So now it's Kyle Schwarber to the plate. Like we mentioned earlier, Schwarber leads Major League Baseball with his career-high 119 RBIs. And he's got an RBI opportunity right here. It's 1-0 Phillies. First pitch on the way to Schwarber. Check swing. They appeal, and he did go, says Alfonso Marquez, down at third. Also, Schwarber's career best 49 homers, just one behind Cal Raleigh for the Major League lead. His next homer would make him the second Philly ever to reach the 50 home run plateau. Ryan Howard in 2006 the other when he hit 58. Schwarber with a check swing on a pitch down in the dirt, didn't commit at a 1-1 count. Schwarber has really tormented the Braves this season. Look, he's tormented just about every team he's faced. But in 11 games versus the Braves this season, he's batting .366 with 8 homers. 8 of his 15 hits have been home runs versus the Braves. Sales 1-1. Schwarber takes the ball low and outside. Schwarber's also put up good numbers in his career versus Sale. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way from Sale. And Schwarber takes a fastball outside. Schwarber in his career versus Sale, 4 for 12 with a triple and 2 homers. Didn't expect to see the triple on that line.
That's a surprise.
Sale comes set right at the belt. 3-1 pitch. Schwarber sends one foul. Got a slider that sent him down to a knee.
Well, to me, it looked like Sale was pitching around Schwarber. He's got an open base. He's got Bryce Harper on deck, who he made look silly in the first inning. But he executed a slider right there at the edge of the zone. And he's back in the count.
You think that's where he wants to go again?
Yeah, I think that's what's coming here.
About to find out. Sale's 3-2. Got him with a slider. Boy, able to bounce back against one of the game's toughest hitters, and back-to-back good sliders to get Schwarber.
Yeah, that was just about as good as Chris Sale could throw a slider. Perfectly landed down and away in the strike zone. Probably going to be a looking strike, but he got the swing and the miss from one of the hottest hitters in the ballgame.
Still another big bat to tame in Bryce Harper. He struck him out in the first inning. 1-0 Phillies on the homer by Wilson. And Harper fights one off out to third. Glove next to the bag by Nacho. Sends it across. Bounce the throw. And Olsen's up with it, and he's got it for the out. That ends the bottom of the third. But a homer by Weston Wilson plates a run. We go to the top of the fourth inning. 1-0 Phillies.
Nothing is quite as American as supporting the home team.
Braves in the top of the fourth inning. At this point, Christopher Sanchez, 3 innings, 3 strikeouts. He's allowed 3 hits, but no runs. Ronald swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Started him off with a changeup. Acuna, one of those 3 strikeout victims. That was back in the first inning. And Sanchez got him swinging. 0-1 pitch. Strike 2. Good sinker, especially the location of it. Oh, 2 from Sanchez. And out to third base. That'll be scooped by Bohm. He throws across, 1 down. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Braves Radio Network.
Never miss a
Ben Ingram with you at Citizens Bank Park. Braves trying to find a way to strike versus Sanchez. Ozzie Albies to the plate. Almost takes one in the foot. It was a sinker low and in. Closest the Braves have been to scoring was 2 innings ago. Ozzie was at third base when the inning ended. He had singled to lead off the inning, but a few batters later, Murphy hit into a double play, and then Harris's ground out with Ozzie at third ended the inning. Waiting on the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. And that's scorched up the middle past a diving Edmundo Sosa. And Ozzie's 2 for 2. Man, he has been swinging the bat on this road trip, hasn't he?
He sure has. That consistently hard contact, you know. Ozzie's a very fluid hitter. He hits a lot by feel. You'll see him moving around in the box. Looks like he's way out in front of a pitch, but he still gets that barrel to it and hits it hard.
That was a changeup that he ripped right through the middle. Drake Baldwin also 1 for 1 with a single. There goes Ozzie. Pitch on the way, sent foul into the screen above the Braves dugout. Ozzie had the bag stolen. That's a good jump, especially against the southpaw.
Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, Phillies catcher JT Realmuto, still one of the best throwers in the game, actually has the fastest average pop time for baseball nerds. So that's the time from when the ball hits his mitt till it gets to second base. So he's number 1 in the league. So that was likely a hit and run, not just a straight steal.
Ozzie a big lead at first. Sanchez to the plate. Baldwin swings and misses. Now you think about this Phillies team and what could make them good in the postseason. And what you mentioned right there, it's kind of a secret weapon.
It is.
Because as a team, they run the bases well. They get their steals. And behind the plate, they prevent them as well as any team out there. 0-2. Low and outside, 1-2.
Yeah, if you sit and you break down this Phillies team, there's not a lot of real weaknesses. The bullpen was a perceived weakness. They had some trouble throughout halfway through the season, so they really reinforced it at the trade deadline. We saw their newest addition, Yohan Duran, last night, throwing 100-mile-an-hour split fingers, which is just wild.
Kickoff over to first base. Ozzie back in standing. That seemed to break some laws of physics last night. 1-0 Phillies. A home run by Weston Wilson put them on the board in the bottom of the third inning. Albies at first, 1 down. And the 1-2 to Baldwin. Check swing and a tapper foul. Still 1-2. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Get one consistent internet price for the next 5 years. No contracts, no curveballs.
It seems like every broadcast, all I do is talk about how good Drake Baldwin is, and I saw another number today that really impressed me. He's not struck out in his last 28 plate appearances. So for a guy that does hit for power, I mean, that's just super impressive.
There's the 1-2 to Baldwin. Low and outside, 2-2. Well, it goes back to something that you mentioned when we were in Miami, his numbers with 2 strikes and how good he's been.
Yeah, he's an elite hitter with 2 strikes. 7 of his 14 home runs with 2 strikes, batting about just under 240, which is about 70 points higher than average. So fight until the very end.
You don't expect that from a rookie. There goes Ozzie, 2-2, and he finds the hole, bouncing it through the right side. Ozzie around second. He'll cruise into third. Braves have the hit and run on. That puts runners at the corners now. Nice job by Drake. Just needed to make contact to the right side with Ozzie drawing the second baseman Sosa to the bag for the defense of the steal.
And the more I watch Drake hit, the more I think he's a bad ball hitter. Vladimir Guerrero is the guy that comes to mind where he could hit a pitch that's well out of the strike zone hard. That's what Drake did there. That was down way below the zone, and he still hit it hard enough to get it, squeak it through that hole in the right side.
Runners at the corners, one down for Sean Murphy. Base hit ties the game. First pitch on the way to Murphy. Miss low and inside. You know, Murph wants to make up for that double play that he hit into 2 innings ago. He hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And trying to stay away from that here. Sac fly would tie the game. Sanchez brings it. And Murphy with a bouncer off the mound, out to short. Turner has it, steps on second, fires to first, and a double play. You want to talk about the bounces going against you. That caromed off the mound out to Turner. He made a great play, and that ends the top of the 4th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors at a
great moment.
Sale through 3 innings has allowed 1 run on a home run by Weston Wilson. First pitch he displays here in the bottom of the 4th is a slider for a called strike on JT Realmuto. So if you tuned in and you heard me say the Braves are trailing 1-0 on a home run, that probably wouldn't surprise you. It's just the man who hit it might surprise you. 0-1 pitch on the way to Realmuto. There's a ball inside. Hardly the likely suspect for the homer from this Philly lineup. The number 9 hitter, Weston Wilson, is 3rd of the year. Realmuto is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And the 1-1. Ball inside, 2 balls and a strike. It's the Tidal Wave Auto Spa inning. Tidal Wave Auto Spa is making Braves country clean car country all season long. There's the 2-1 pitch on the way to JT Realmuto. And he'll bounce one foul on the third base line. If the Braves pitch a scoreless 4th inning tonight, Tidal Wave will offer half off the Best Wash membership tomorrow. Learn more at TidalWaveAutospa.com/Braves. A run on 2 hits for the Phillies. No runs, 5 hits for the Braves. 2-2. And a called third strike on the inside corner. Good fastball. That's a pitcher's pitch right there, Darren.
Yeah, it sure is. Perfectly executed down and in. You know, Drake Baldwin did drop it because he was trying to frame it and hold it there. But, yeah, that definitely poked right through the strike zone.
for Alec Boehm. A couple of big, tall guys squaring off right here. The 6'6" Sale and the 6'5" Boehm. Pitch on the way to Boehm. There's a called strike. Interesting story on Alec Boehm. You see a guy who's 6'5". You'd imagine he was probably 6 feet tall when he was in the 5th grade. Wasn't the case for Boehm. He had a very late growth spurt when he was in high school. There's the 0-1 pitch. He swings and misses. So much so that he wasn't drafted out of high school. He didn't have any in-state offers out of high school in Nebraska. He wanted to play for the Cornhuskers. But his growth spurt didn't really hit till his senior year. Kind of left him in an awkward spot. That'll be fouled back. Well, by the time he graduated high school, he was 6'5" and went to play at Wichita State, and they have a tremendous program. And he was a semifinalist for both the Dick Howser Trophy and the Golden Spikes Award. And he's a big, tall third baseman. 1-0 Phillies, bottom of the 4th. 0-2 to Boehm. A little bit low and outside with a changeup. That could have gone either way.
Yeah, Lansbury strike zone looks like it's dancing around a little bit. It's the definition of it is different for right and left-handed hitters to him.
Sale has 6 strikeouts, 1-2. And he sends one foul on the right field line. Kind of a 3/4 swing and a slider. It's got to be an interesting adjustment for both pitcher and batter.
Yeah.
Thinking about that strike zone.
Yeah. When a left-hander is pitching to a left-handed batter, he's not really calling that outer third. Last inning, Sanchez put 2 balls right there in the strike zone. He didn't call them.
1-2 to Boehm. Bye-bye. Hit the inside corner with a fastball, and he goes down looking.
Yep. And then Sale's 2 looking strikeouts this inning have been fastballs in the same location, but because there's a righty in the box, Lance Barrett raises his right arm and calls strike 3. So it's probably where he's setting up behind the catcher. He can see that pitch a little bit better when it's a right-handed batter.
By the way, it's just ridiculous. It's downright ridiculous how good he is. Talking about Chris.
Yeah.
To be out for 2.5 months and then hit spots like that, that'll be fouled back. I just think about how difficult that must be. I mean, it's hard enough to be accurate and have good command when you're out there every 5 days. And he hadn't pitched a big league game in 2.5 months, and he's just nailing the corners with everything in his arsenal. 1-0 Phillies, bottom of the 4th. 0-1 to Castellanos, fouled back 0-2. In the 5th inning, the Braves will have 7, 8, 9 due up. That'll be Harris, Alvarez, and Allen. Sale trying to keep it a 1-0 deficit. 0-2 to Castellanos. And he misses low and in. Not a bad idea with that 0-2 slider low and in. Sale, a tug of the cap. Reaches his arms up over his head, then brings the set down to his belt. He spins the 1-2 to the plate, and he just got him looking. Sweet dreams with that one. Goodness. That slider locked up Castellanos. That's his 8th strikeout, and Sale looking good through 4. We go to the top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Phillies.
When you open a Corona,
was bunt, and he missed the bunt, 0-1. Ben, Darren, and Jay Chad with you on what has turned into a cloudless night in Philly. Clear canopy of blue over the top of the ballpark and the setting sun down the left field line. Sanchez at 55 pitches, 40 strikes. 1 to Harris. He cuts it loose. Missed every stitch of that changeup. Sanchez has 3 strikeouts, no walks. Got Harris to ground out in the second inning. Gets him to strike out here. Doubled up on the changeup.
Yeah, it's not just the movement on that changeup. It's the arm speed as well. You know, the sinker is 96, sometimes 97, and that changeup with the exact same arm speed is coming in almost 10 miles an hour slower. It's really tough on these hitters to pick out the difference between those two pitches.
4 strikeouts for Sanchez. And here's Nacho Alvarez. Alvarez crushes one deep down the left field line, hooking foul. It really turned on that slider. I think he splintered his bat. And he'll have to walk back to the Braves dugout, select the brand new War Club. That's another broken bat. Gorilla Glue for the toughest jobs on planet Earth. The official sponsor of broken bats. Turn to Gorilla Glue. 0-1 on Nacho Alvarez. You know, it's interesting talking about differentiating between those pitches for Sanchez, and he's so good where you could see him a second and even a third trip and still be perplexed by what is what facing him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
0-1 to Nacho, bounced up there, 1-1.
Yeah, and the other thing he does well is because he throws a two-seam a lot, that sinker, the changeup and the two-seam spin alike more than a four-seamer and a changeup, so it disguises that pitch even more. It looks very similar out of the hand of these hitters.
Nacho takes a ball low, 2-1.
You're going to see like a loose rotation, and when you see a four-seam fastball, you're going to see a lot of red. You're going to see much more solid red on the white baseball because those seams are spinning end over end.
2-1 off the end of the bat, out to first base. On a knee, Harper knocks it down, picks it up, carries it to the bag, 2 down. Two away for Nick Allen. Braves trying to stay out of a 1-2-3 inning. Sanchez has one of those. That was in the first inning. Braves have had handful of base runners. In fact, they've had Ozzie Albies at third base twice. Allen takes a ball inside, goes to the backstop.
And I've always wondered, I've never had the chance to start a game in the major leagues, but I've always wondered how much motivation a starting pitcher, say Chris Sale, gets from the other guy on the mound starting for the other team. You know, tall, slim lefty with dominant stuff. Sounds kind of familiar.
1-0 pitch. It's in foul. Probably like watching himself in a mirror.
Exactly. He talks about how Sale won the Cy Young last year. Sanchez is in the contention to do that this year, and he probably would if Paul Skeens wasn't around, who might be the first player to win the Cy Young with a losing record, which is a conversation for another day, but...
Here's the 1-1 to Allen. Cut and a miss, 1-2. Yeah, two lefties. They even have the same initial, CS. 1-2 on Allen. 1-0 Phillies, top of the fifth. Here's the 1-2. And Allen with soft contact up the third base line, rolling foul. That was on the chalk about halfway down the line. And then took a left turn to go foul. 3 finals around Major League Baseball. You mentioned Paul Skeens. The Pirates took down the Red Sox at a 10-3. Rays defeated the Nationals 4-1. And the Brewers won today, their 85th win of the year. They beat the Blue Jays 4-1. Mets in a slugfest with the Marlins. Marlins have an 11-8 lead at Citi Field at the top of the ninth. Wow. And they've got runners at the corners, 2 down. Allen sends 1 foul. That's a glance at the out-of-town scoreboard, delivered to you by Sigue LTL Freight, the official freight carrier of the Atlanta Braves. Sanchez at 66 pitches. 1-2 to Allen. And a little bit low and outside. All the Philly players took a step towards the dugout thinking that sinker was over for strike 3. Instead, it's ball 2. And looking at the location of the pitch, I can understand their gripe with it. Looked like a good one. So 2-2 on Allen. He's over 1 with a ground out. 2-2 pitch. That'll be slow. 3-2. Allen had a couple of hits in last night's defeat. 3-2 pitch and a called third strike. One to the slider at the bottom of the zone. Nick goes down looking. He knew it. Braves go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the inning upon our return. Still 1-0 Phillies. Inning 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Phillies, starting with Bader, then Sosa, followed by Wilson. And it's the Weston Wilson homer that's the only tally in this game to this point. Harrison Bader 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Sale goes back to work. First pitch slider misses outside. Alongside Darren O'Day and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick. Ben Ingram here with you. Coming to you from the Visitors Radio booth here at Citizens Bank Park in Philly. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bader takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's a really good booth. We enjoy working here. Good vantage point. Good size to the booth. And our producer, Jay Chad, has some metal scaffolding that he gets to kind of sit up above us on. Has his equipment up there. 1-1 swung on and missed. And that scaffolding has, 3-4 stairs to get to the top of it so he can get up there into his overlord position above us and feel powerful. 1-2 on Bader. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Bader chases high heat, missed every stitch of it. Went after a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And another strikeout for Chris Sale. He is racking up the Ks tonight. 1 down. That's now 9 strikeouts for Sale. But finishing that thought on Jonathan, if at any point for the rest of tonight's game or tomorrow you hear a crash back behind us, it's the jelly leg Jonathan Chadwick falling down the stairs with his collapsing knees. Here's the pitch on the way to Sosa, and Sosa with a fly ball to left field. In line with it, Profar comes in, slides, and did he hold on to it? I believe he did. He definitely did. That kind of tricked him. I think he thought it was going to hang in the air long enough for him to catch it out of the air, but then last second darted in, slid to it, and in the process makes our Truist play of the game. Brought to you by Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Nice slide and grab by Profar. 2 down. Weston Wilson takes a called strike. Yeah, we got our workout, our team workout in today, like we try to do at least once a year at the Rocky Steps. And the three of us ran the steps multiple times. And J-Ted said he's feeling a little jelly-legged right now. Wilson takes a ball, though, so he's got to make sure he doesn't collapse going down the stairs of that scaffolding back behind us.
I'm proud of him. You know, we went to Red Rocks earlier this year right outside of Denver, and we called him the mascot that day. He just cheered for us. He didn't do much running.
I forgot about that. 1-1. That's dipped in the mid for a strike.
He was just there supervising. Well, today he put himself in the game, and he actually ran with us. Yeah, it was a fun morning.
Did really well. That's a fun workout over there on a nice day like today. Chris Sale looking for another 1-2-3 inning. 1-2 pitch. Check swing did not go. He is a strike away from his 10th strikeout. We're only in the 5th inning. And he's been out the last 2.5 months on the injured list. Ready with a 2-2 pitch. Sale fires. Bouncer out to short. Taken on 2 friendly hops. Chest high to Nick Allen. Throws over to first base for the out. And it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 5th. Sale, 70 pitches through 5 innings. We go to the top of the 6th inning. 1-0 Phillies. Top of the order for the Braves. Got to find a way to strike here versus Christopher Sanchez. And a homer would be nice as well because it's the Georgia Lottery home run jackpot inning. Introduce you to our contestant after the pitch to Profar. He'll take a called strike. Yeah, the Braves hit a homer here in the top of the 6th inning. Tonight's contestant, Danny Williamson in Sylvester, Georgia, will win $1,150. Tell you how you can enter after this 0-1 pitch to Profar. Here it is from Sanchez. Profar beats one into the ground, rolling down the third base line, and foul. Went about 2/3 of the way down the line fair, and then took a left turn. And a 0-2 count on Profar. If you'd like to enter for your chance to win at least $1,000 from the Georgia Lottery, visit 680thefan.com/GA Lottery. Georgia Lottery, today could be the day. Profar 1 for 2, a single, as well as a fly out to left field. He'd be a great candidate to get something started, but he's down 0-2. Ripped out to third, over the head of Bohm, all the way into the corner, and that'll rattle the corner. Jerks and Profar into second base. That was shredded right over the leaping Bohm, just out of his reach. And it's a leadoff double for Profar, and the tying runs in scoring position.
Another really good at-bat by Profar. That was a changeup down below the zone. Now has 2 hits on a night against a guy who I personally can't imagine how I would ever hit him. It's just nasty stuff, so great at-bat there.
Now Matt Olson, who's 0 for 2, looking for some success versus this left-hander. First pitch to Olson, and he swings and misses at an opening pitch sinker. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Phillies. No run, 6 hits, no errors for the Braves. Braves 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position, so they're due. And now Sanchez steps off, looking Profar back to the bag at second. Christopher Sanchez at 73 pitches, 53 strikes. Long look to second base. 0-1 to Olson, and Olson hits one out towards right center, in for a base hit. Rolls into the gap, cut off out there by Harrison Bader. That'll tie the game. Olson tried to leg out 2 bags. Head first slide in there. RBI double by Matt Olson, and the game is tied. Back-to-back doubles by the men at the top of the order, Profar and Olson. Had a great start here in the 6th inning for the Braves.
And what a luxury to have a big power hitting first baseman, left-handed hitting first baseman that handles lefties so well. You know, he and Drake Baldwin are the 2 lefties that really stand out in this game as guys that can handle themselves against same-handed pitchers. And it shows right there.
And that's only the 4th extra base hit allowed by a lefty from Sanchez this year.
That's right.
And that'd be a good number for him even if it were June. It's August.
Yeah.
There's a ball low to Acuna.
Yeah, he's allowed 1 home run and now 3 doubles to left-handed hitters.
So he's been suffocating on the lefties, but Matt able to figure him out right there. And that RBI for Olson is 76th of the season. Pitch on the way to Acuna and a strike on the outside corner. Ronald doesn't like that. And a 1-1 count. Game tied at 1 in the top of the 6th inning. Acuna 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. 1-1 missed high, 2 balls and a strike. Acuna pinwheels the bat and now steadies it. Waiting on Sanchez. 2-1 pitch and a strike right on the inside corner. Both of these pitchers have done a great job hitting that spot versus righties. That sinker low and in. That's such a tough pitch. 2-2 to Acuna. Off the plate, 3-2. And if you're a lefty, obviously you feel good about facing lefty bats, but you're going to be seeing a ton of righties. So you've got to be able to execute that pitch in, and they've both been tremendous at that. 3-2. Send foul, spoiled off into the seats down the right field line.
Yeah, for most pitchers, that is the hardest pitch to execute. We call it a glove side fastball. So, you know, Sanchez, that's wears his glove on his right hand. That'd be inside to a righty. Same with Chris Sale. And that, you're right, these 2 have been near perfect with that pitch tonight.
3-2. Swung on and tipped into the middle of Realmuto for strike 3. Changeup gets Acuna. 1 down in the 6th inning. Now it's Albies to the plate, and Albies has had Sanchez figured out twice tonight. A single in the 2nd, a single in the 4th. Only bad news is he was left stranded at third base both times. Now a chance to drive in a run. Ozzie hitting .317 with 16 RBIs in his last 15 games. Looking for another RBI. And he swings and bounces one foul on the left field line. Braves have at least tied the game, but looking for more. You get back-to-back doubles. You're looking for a crooked number. Ozzie grips the wood, waits on the 0-1. And here it is from the left-hander Sanchez. Ozzie with a soft bouncer, left side, charging Bohm, bare hands, fires in time. Well, as Bohm was coming in, so was Turner. Thought they might bump into one another. But Bohm darted in front of him. That swing and bunt played perfectly by Bohm over to third base for Olsen with 2 down.
Yeah, really nice play there, Bohm. Not known for his defense early in his career, he has made himself into a pretty solid third baseman here.
Drake Baldwin is 2 for 2, trying to give the Braves the lead. And Drake takes a ball inside. A 1-1 game in the top of the 6th. Baldwin with 60 RBIs this season. Left-on-left matchup. 1-1, big chopper out to second. Glove back to the bag by Turner. Wings it to first, and there's out number 3. And the Braves strand a runner at third, but they do collect a run. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 1.
Hey, Braves fans. Every day.
Chris Sale, Christopher Sanchez. It's a 1-1 game. Braves and Phillies in the 3rd game of this series. Top of the order for the Phillies. And it'll be Turner, Schwarber, and Harper. Turner's been a pest, a walk and a double. A couple of steals, but he's been stranded twice on base. First pitch slider misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Turner, Sosa, and Wilson are the only 3 Phillies who have not struck out tonight versus Sale. 1-0 pitch. And a strike on the inside corner. 9 strikeouts for Sale, 1 walk. The walk was to Turner back in the 1st inning. One pitch. Boy, it looked like a good pitch. Maybe a little bit low with a changeup. 2-1 on Trey Turner. Phillies scored 1 run in the 3rd on a homer by Wilson. Braves tied it with an RBI double from Olsen in the 6th. And the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back. Took a healthy cut at a fastball. 2-2. Tyler Kinley up and tossing in the Braves bullpen. Turner waving the bat behind his right ear. Sales 2-2. And a fly ball deep down the left field line towards the corner. That one hops off the wall. Profar's up with it. Fires all the way from deep left in the air to Ozzie, but the throw is just late. And it's a double by Turner, his second double of the game. And he's on for the third time tonight. That time he was able to stay patient, stay back, and ripped it down the line.
Yeah, coming into the game, Turner really had struggled against Sale, just 2 for 11 with 5 strikeouts. But as you mentioned, he's been a pest here tonight, reaching base all 3 times. He's been up.
And now he's in scoring position for Kyle Schwarber, Major League Baseball's RBI leader. Schwarber 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. First pitch, big bouncer out to first base. Taken on twin ups by Olsen. He'll carry to the bag himself, 1 down. Turner over to third base. And he's down there for Bryce Harper. Napa is a proud partner of your Atlanta Braves. With America's largest network of parts and care, Napa has all the bases covered when it comes to your ride. Infield will come in for Harper.
I mentioned something last night. When Bryce Harper's in the box, he doesn't like the matchup. A lot of times he tries to shorten his swing up and go the opposite field. And that's what we did see in his last at-bat. Now, fortunately for Chris Sale, he threw a fastball in on Harper's knuckles, so it left the bat about 30 miles an hour. So Harper will change his swing. I'm curious to see how he approaches this bat against the tough lefty Chris Sale.
Turner at third. First pitch to Harper. Ground ball out to first. Olsen steps on the bag, comes to the plate, and they got him for a double play. That was outstanding by Olsen. Was right by the bag, gloved it, stepped on the bag, threw a strike to Drake Baldwin, and he was waiting on Turner. And now, Sale jogging back out onto the field. Now, what are they saying here? Are they...
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager.
Terrific defensive play by Olsen. Great instincts and really rolling the dice considering the runner at third base, Darren.
Yeah, you get the fastest, well, one of the fastest guys in the league running down the line. To have that mental clock in your head is impressive.
Sean Murphy, the batter, takes the ball low and inside.
And most first basemen know Turner runs like a cheetah, run down the line, and they just throw it home to save the run. And Matt had the presence of mind to step on first and get the double play.
A 3-2 double play. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Murphy sends one foul towards the end of the Braves dugout. And he knew he was going to take a perfect throw. And a lot of times, to your point, those first basemen, knowing you have to deliver your best throw to the plate to get Turner, would go ahead and just come to the plate. And he's able to step on first and then throw an off-balance strike to the plate to get the double play. 1-1, bouncer foul outside the bag at third, 1-2.
Yeah, you don't get to say this a lot, but his arm at first base is a weapon. He's the best throwing first baseman in the league. I've seen him play enough now, I can say that with confidence. Nobody turns the 3-6-3 double play like he does. Nobody throws it around the infield like he did there.
1-2 to Murphy outside. So here, I know we already gave out the truest play of the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we have co-truest plays of the game tonight. And that one's right there with that catch made by Profar an inning ago. Here's the 2-2. Murphy swings and got a piece of it. Fouled off a slider, stays alive. Braves 1, Phillies 1. As we're in the top of the 7th inning, Braves about hit the Phillies 7-3. And given how the Braves have out hit the Phillies, and we're tied at 1 late in the game, this is starting to feel like last night. Braves lost 2-1 last night despite out hitting the Phillies 12-6. Base is empty for Murphy. And the 2-2 pitch. Bounce foul. Just about took out Tom Goodwin, Braves first base coach. He still got it. He was able to swivel out of the way.
It's a good thing he's still working out every morning in the gym. He's still got quick feet.
David Robertson now tossing out there in the bullpen for the Phillies. Here's the 2-2. Check swing, strike 3. Fooled him with that sinker, hit the inside corner. That's now 7 strikeouts for Christopher Sanchez. Still Kenley tossing in the Braves bullpen.
Yeah, that would indicate Chris Sale's work is over for the night. He's not fully built up to his pitch count, otherwise you'd expect him to come back out.
Michael Harris swings and misses at a first pitch changeup. Man, that changeup's so good. Some very good weapons for Christopher Sanchez. Lefty deals the 0-1. Swung on and missed again. Went to the sinker at 97. Michael Harris 0 for 2, ground out and a strikeout. This will be pitch number 95 from Sanchez and the 0-2. Harris swings and misses. Sinker in on his hands. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sanchez. He has 8 strikeouts in the game. Coming up between innings, it's the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by 13 Heroes, a premium line of spirits founded to honor the lives of the 13 service members killed in Afghanistan in 2021. Help turn tragedy into legacy by visiting 13heroes.com today. So with 2 down, it's in the hands of Nacho Alvarez. Alvarez hitless in the game, takes a first pitch strike. Nacho's got the average at 232. No ground 1 weekly out to third. Bohm has it. Sends it across the diamond. Braves go down to 1-2-3 for the 3rd time of the game. And time for us to stretch them out here in Philly. We advance to the bottom of the 7th, tied at 1.
This is the story of the 1.
Good work. The right-hander, Tyler Kinley. Since Kinley's been a Brave, he's sporting a minuscule .84 ERA over 10 2/3 innings pitched.
Real Muto is 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts for him. Pitch on the way from Kinley. That bounces the backstop. I just want to underscore one more time just how good Chris Sale was tonight. Just to come back from being on the shelf for 2.5 months and be as sharp as he was. I mean, just completely perplexed these batters top to bottom. Gave up just the 1 homer, 3 hits. There's a ball high. And I just think about taking a 2.5-month break from anything and coming back and being good, much less facing this lineup in this ballpark and being that good.
That's well put.
There's the 2-1 pitch on the way to JT Realmuto. Looked like a good pitch, but he doesn't get the call on the slider. Realmuto 1 for 5 in the series. 270 hitter. Here it is from Kinley. And there's a strike. Went back to the slider. This time it's in there. Saw Realmuto in game 1 of this series. Didn't play last night. Marchand had the catching duties last night. 3-1 pitch. And there's a strike. At the bottom of the zone with a slider.
Yeah, that pitch was very borderline bottom of the zone, but a really nice frame by Drake Baldwin. He caught it perfectly on the way up, presented it to home plate umpire Lance Barrett, and got the call.
Let's see if Kinley wants to go back to the slider. It's been coming out of his hands pretty well already. 3-2 pitch. And a chase and a miss. Went to the slider for strike 3. Good comeback there by Kinley. 1 down. Folks, did you know the all-time hot sauce leader at RBIs is the original Louisiana brand hot sauce? Like a double play for your mouth, that's Louisiana Hot. Buy you some. 1 out for Alec Bohm. He's 1 for 10 in the series. 0 for 2 in this game. Pitch on the way to Bohm, and he swings and goes down to a knee going after that first pitch slider, fouled it back. Probably feels like a rebirth for some of these Phillies hitters going up to the plate, not having to face Sale.
Yeah, Sale had everything cooking tonight. That's not fun trying to hit him when he's having a good day.
Kinley's 0-1. Bohm sends one foul over by the Braves dugout.
In Kinley's career, he has struggled in this building. 9 2/3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs for a 6.5 ERA. And this is one of those stadiums where I think the venue does matter, just because of the raucous environment here. You know, not every stadium do I think that those stats are really sticky. I think this is one of those venues, though.
I agree with you. A 1-1 game in the bottom of the 7th. Braves and Phillies in the 3rd game of this 4-game series. Ready with the 0-2. Kinley spins it up there. And Bohm takes ball low and outside. Along that same line, I bet pitchers could tell you more ballparks where their numbers aren't good in compared to the ones where their numbers are good.
Yeah.
Always sticks in your memory a little bit more.
You tend to remember those bad ones.
There's the 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out. He's been dazzling with the slider, struck out Realmuto, strikes out Bohm. And 2 down here in the 7th.
Yeah, really sharp slider there. Just walking Bohm off the plate. You know, early in the count, you want to catch a little bit more of that strike zone, get ahead in the count. Now you're in the driver's seat. As it progresses, you keep throwing that slider farther and farther away until he swings and misses at it.
In the hands of Castellanos. Castellanos takes a ball outside. Well, last night, Castellanos was taken out of the game as a defensive replacement. As they sent Max Kepler to right field, Castellanos wasn't thrilled about it. Downright had the mully grubs after the game. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Castellanos. Big swing and a miss there, 1-1.
I love it when you say that.
It fit the situation, and he's let it be known he doesn't like being taken out of games for a defensive replacement late in the game. But that was the case last night. Ball and a strike. offering to Castellanos. And he hooks one out there to third baseman Nacho Alvarez. And that is caught out of the air for the out. So 1, 2, 3, 7th. We go to the 8th, tied at 1.
On 92.5 miles an hour.
Well, the Braves are going to take a crack at it by pinch hitting Marcelo Ozuna to lead it off here in the 8th inning. First pitch to Ozuna. He swings and fouls one off. That was in and out of the mitt of Realmuto. I think that took a bite out of Lance Barrett. And JT checking in on Barrett. Ozuna 1 for 5 in his career versus Tanner Banks. Ozuna, 228 hitter. He was the DH last night, went 0 for 3. And then in game 1, he was 1 for 3 with a single. Neon yellow cleats on. Neon yellow sleeve on his right arm. 0-1 pitch, missed the outside corner. Trying to get it in there with that backdoor sweeper and missed. 1-1 pitch. Chop foul. A little roller over by the Braves dugout, so a 1-2 count. Phillies got a homer from Weston Wilson in the 3rd. Braves an RBI double from Matt Olson in the 6th. That's how we've arrived at this 1-1 score. 1-2 high and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ozuna, 20 home runs on the year. 1 behind Matt Olson for the team lead. 2-2. No swing and send one foul into the seats down the right field line. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Braves Radio Network.
Every Atlanta Braves game live on the air.
One game and the 2-2 pitch, low and inside, just about got him in the toes. And a 3-2 count on Ozuna. Certainly take a leadoff walk. Ozuna 6th in the big league in walks. 3-2. And he swings and it's a fly ball to left field. Weston Wilson over to his left. Makes the catch in left. And 1 down here in the 8th inning.
I was hoping for a walk there. Tanner Banks is particularly stingy with those walks. 99th percentile walk rate. Only 4% of batters is he issuing free passes to.
Back to the top of the order to Profar is 2 for 3. Single, a double, and a run scored. Profar swings at the first pitch in a fly ball to medium depth center field. Harrison Bader calling off Weston Wilson, makes the catch in shallow left center, 2 down. So 2 very quick outs.
First baseman,
Matt Olson has driven in the Braves' only run of this game. And now he'll climb in there left on left versus Banks. Olson 1 for 4 in his career versus Banks. Now the first pitch, sinker inside, just missed his knuckles. Phillies in the bottom of the inning will have 7, 8, 9 due up. That's Bader, Sosa, and Wilson. 1-0, laid off, had a notion, but kept the barrel back. Hitters count for Olson. 2 balls, no strikes. Banks, Red Sox up to the knees, set right at the letters. 2-0 pitch. Swung on and a little liner up the middle, base hit. That rolls just to the right of second base. That's another base hit for Olson. That is his 6th hit in this series and his 2nd tonight.
He certainly likes hitting in Citizens Bank Park.
When he gets a hit here at this ballpark, the Philly fans are just glad it's not a homer. With all the homers he's hit here.
Yeah, 15 home runs in 30 regular season games here.
So now Ronald Acuna will face the left-hander Banks. Something you and I were discussing before the game about Ronald on this road trip. He's contributed and had some base hits, but you're waiting for that big Ronald Acuna moment.
Exactly.
As only he can deliver. Caleb Cotham is the pitching coach. He's going to walk out there and visit with the entire infield. But if Ronald's looking for a spot for one of his patented big moments, I can't think of a better one than this moment right here.
Yeah, this Phillies team is pretty stout, and it's going to take a special play from a special player to beat them. They're across the board, they're very strong. So the Braves have been getting a lot of hits. They just haven't been scoring many runs, and you're right. It's time for Ronald to do Ronald things.
Meanwhile, the wave makes its way around this ballpark in a clockwise motion. 43,462 here on a Saturday night in Philly. A 1-1 game in the top of the 8th inning. Braves have a runner at first and 2 down for Ronald Acuna. Ronald is 0 for 3 in this game. Grips the bat, waiting on the southpaw Banks. First pitch, and Acuna takes a ball high. Acuna taps the corner of the plate with the end of his bat. Now readies it, anticipating the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes, and a strike out of the top of the zone with a slider. If Ronald can reach, then Ozzie Albies would come to the plate. He's down there in the on-deck circle. Olson a lead at first. 1-1, a strike on the inside corner with a slider. Ronald never leaves the box, just pinwheels his bat. Calmly casts his gaze at the left-hander. 1-2 pitch, and a ground ball to short. Wrapping it in leather is Turner. Goes the short route to second to get Olson. That ends the top of the 8th. Braves with a 2-out single, nothing beyond that. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
It's allowed. On to relieve him, another right-hander, Pierce Johnson. We saw Pierce last night pitch in the 8th inning, actually gave up the game-winning sacrifice fly, although it wasn't his runner, it was Dylan Lee's runner. Looking for a scoreless 8th here tonight. He's having a great year. 49 2/3 innings pitched, has a 2.17 ERA on the season.
And he's on to the Yanmar strikeout the side inning. Tell you about our contestant out of the first pitch to Bader. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch to Bader. In for a strike. If the Braves strike out the side here in the 8th, our contestant, Josh Youngblood, will be the lucky winner of a brand new Yanmar utility terrain vehicle. Enter all season long at Braves.com/Yanmar for your chance to win a Yanmar UTV and to be entered for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. A 1-cent foul. That'll arc its way into the seats down the right field line. Yanmar built together, back longer. It's great to be with you tonight on a Saturday night. Got a good ball game on our hands here in Philly. Tied at 1 in the bottom of the 8th. By the way, Vidal Brujan remains in the game, or actually comes into the game at shortstop after the Braves pitch hit for Allen. 0-2, popped up, spinning back. Drake tosses the mask. He's out of room. It lands in the seats below. Still 0-2 on Bader. Breeze has been blowing in from center field the entire game. Been a cool fall-like night here in Philadelphia. 0-2 to Bader. Ground ball to short. Brujan right into the game. Ball right to him. He's up with it. Passes the test. And 1 down here in the 8th inning. No winner in the Yanmar strikeout the side inning, but Josh Youngblood, thank you for playing. Here's Bryson Stott to pinch hit for Edmundo Sosa.
Yeah, we're going to see a few of these left-handed pinch hitters. They all had at least had the beginning of the game off because the nasty lefty Chris Sale's on the mound. So typically when he goes, you're going to have some pretty quality left-handed pinch hitters late in the game.
Stott did not face Pierce Johnson last night. He was on deck when the bottom of the 8th ended. Tied at 1, bottom of the 8th. First pitch to Stott. Fastball a little bit high. 1 ball, no strike. Stott batting .270. He's got some pop, 7 homers. Pierce fires, and he misses outside with a fastball. Stott with a single last night, went 1 for 3. Also had 1 base hit in game 1. It was an RBI single. Left-handed hitter out of UNLV, and the 2-0 pitch in for a called strike. Make it 2-1 on Stott. Here's Johnson, set right at the letters. Righty brings it. 2-1 fouled back. In games when Stott plays second base, the right side of their infield is provided by Las Vegas, Nevada, between Harper and Stott. Both similarly named and from the same hometown. Bryce and Stott. A dangerous runner should he get on base. He's second on their team in steals. Pierce is 2-2. Missed high and outside. 3-2. Well, for Rob Thompson, he knows that Stott's a good contact hitter, so a good choice as a pinch hitter, but also a great choice if he gets on base with the wheels that he has. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Inside-out swing, down the left field line, arcing its way to the seats and foul, landing 8 rows back of the tarp. Here's Johnson looking into his target, Drake Baldwin. 3-2. And Stott pops one up. Foul territory by the Braves dugout, not a play.
Yeah, Stott, you mentioned contact hitter. He's a very pesky out in the box, and he's a great complement to, the sluggers at the top of this lineup.
Stott 1 for 4 in his career versus Pierce. Pierce Johnson's 3-2. Fouled back again, down to our left. Pretty good battle here between Pierce Johnson and Bryson Stott. 1-1 game in the 8th. Bases empty, one down. Again, the 3-2. And he misses low ball 4. Now Brandon Marsh, one of those other good left-handed options off their bench, will be called upon to pinch hit for Weston Wilson. Last night it was a 1-1 game into the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Phillies took the lead on a sac fly from Bohm and went on to win 2-1. They're trying to find their way to the same blueprint in this game. So the go-ahead run at first, one down for Marsh. Marsh, a .266 hitter. First pitch to Marsh is high and outside. We've told you the story for Marsh before. He's a Georgia boy, grew up in Beaufort, and was a 3-sport star in football, baseball, and basketball. Waiting on the 1-0 pitch. Here it is from Pierce Johnson. Swung on, miss. That time climbed the ladder with a fastball.
Yeah, that's a good spot to go against Marsh. He's got a steep swing from the left side. Whenever you see that, you got to think, okay, 4-seamers on his hands. And that's a good place to get a swing and a miss.
Stott draws the attention of Pierce Johnson, who throws over. He's back in with a dive. Stott with 23 stolen bases in 26 attempts. As he's 11 back of Trey Turner for the team lead. 1 ball, 1 strike, righty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way to Marsh. Missed high. 2 balls and a strike on Brandon Marsh. Pierce Johnson rubs up a baseball after missing with that fastball. Certainly doesn't want to have 2 men on base for the top of the order, as they're lurking right around the corner. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way from Pierce Johnson. Ground ball up the middle, base hit in the right center field. Digging around second is Stott, and he'll go into third base standing. Marsh sent one just out of the reach of Ozzie Albies. And now they're at the corners with 1 down for Trey Turner. So Rob Thompson pressing the right buttons upon facing this right-hander on the mound, using the lefties of Stott and Marsh. You get a walk and a single.
Yeah, there's, in today's modern game, there's not as much strategy as there used to be, but anytime Chris Sale pitches, you're going to have some good options on that bench late in the game, and it looks like the Phillies are making some noise here with those left-handed bats available on the bench.
Meeting at the mound, Rick Kranitz, Braves pitching coach, out there meeting with the entire infield. Trey Turner is 2 for 9 in his career versus Pierce Johnson. He's also walked twice and struck out 3 times. Infield's going to play in, and this worked out for the Braves in the 3rd inning. Nacho's even with a bag at 3rd. Vidal Brujan is playing about halfway in, likewise Ozzie. So they're not completely in, but in a good 3-4 steps, and would come to the plate just in case. Now they'll walk in further. Now they all come in, right on the edge of the grass. First pitch on the way to Turner. And he'll send one foul into the seats down the right field line. Turner, good contact hitter, batting .299 on the season. Been on base 3 times in the game with 2 doubles and a walk. 0-1 from Pierce. Fouled back into the screen, 0-2. So a good job getting ahead.
Yeah, Brandon Marsh down at first base can really run too. I'm not sure they would risk giving up an out here with Kyle Schwarber on deck, but the steal is certainly in play.
Way ahead, 0-2. Johnson fires. Low and outside. Missed with a curveball. Ozzie in on the grass and playing up the middle. He's just to the right of second base on the edge of the grass. Johnson set right at the tomahawk. 1-2 to the plate. Fouled off again into the seats along the first base line. Well, this is the exact situation the Phillies wanted, sending Stott and Marsh up to pinch hit. Bottom of the order has done more than just set the table. They've polished the silverware. They're at first and third with one down. 1-2 to Turner. And a cold third strike. He just fooled him with a curveball. Turner couldn't believe it. You don't see that much out of him. And 2 down in the inning. And now, with Kyle Schwarber lurking on deck, Brian Snitker comes out and be making the Pennington grass seed call to the bullpen. So he will go to the lefty Dylan Lee, and if you're looking to transform your lawn this year, turn to Pennington Grass Seed, the official partner of the Atlanta Braves grounds crew. Pennington Grass Seed, rooted in Braves country. It's a 1-1 game in the bottom of the 8th.
Fall is here. The Off Base Podcast is on. Join
Schwarber singled to start that game-winning rally. Looking to turn some recent history on its head here tonight. Kyle Schwarber is 4 for 13 off Dylan. That's a 308 average with 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Sure would like to make that 5 here and strand those 2 inherited runners.
A 1-1 game in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now Lee has to face the most dangerous man in their order. First pitch to Schwarber is a ball low and outside. When you just faced a guy last night, like the case with Lee and Schwarber, are you trying to change things up from what you displayed last night, or just execute better what you displayed last night?
Yeah, I'm guessing Dillon's is going to try to execute that slider better here tonight.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Schwarber with a bouncer to first and foul.
And he showed him a lot of sliders last night because Schwarber is struggling against that type of pitch, respectively. You know, you like to jump ahead so that you can waste a fastball up and in and show him, hey, I'm going to throw my fastball too, with all the while having the intent you're going to get him out with that slider.
One pitch. Upstairs. Fastball 95, but nowhere near tempting enough for Schwarber to pull the trigger on it. Two and one, here it comes. Schwarber with a fly ball to right field in line with Acuna. Makes a chest-high catch, and that ends the bottom of the 8th. Dylan Lee got his man. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and men left on base. 1 at first, 1 at third. We go to the 9th inning, tied at 1.
You ever wonder what happened?
Showed us some 102-mile-an-hour heat last night with a 100-mile splitter as well. This season, he has thrown 215 pitches of 100 miles or more. And only one batter has taken him deep, one of 242, and of course, is Shohei Ohtani. Right, that kind of spoils it. So last night, he secured his 24th save of the season. Tonight, no save opportunity.
I don't know if either of those guys are from this planet, by the way, Duran and Ohtani. Here's Ozzie Albies to lead off. And Ozzie's heading to the left side, takes a strike, didn't like that call. He thought it was high and outside. Ozzie 2 for 3 with 2 singles. He did not face Duran last night. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Upstairs, count even at 1. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for the Braves. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Phillies. Jhoan Duran kicks and brings the 1-1 pitch. And Ozzie sends one deep down the right field line, hooking foul. Turned on that 99-mile-an-hour sinker. Actually, that was his fastball.
Yeah.
By the way, Iglesias is tossing in the Braves bullpen. He'd be facing Harper, Realmuto, and Bohm in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll see if the Braves can get him a lead. 1-2 pitch. Almost hit Ozzie. Came in with a curve.
1 year ago and 3 days, the Braves got Duran for 4 earned runs in 1/3 of an inning up in Minnesota. I'm just remembering that last year. That was the first time I'd seen him pitch, and I thought, how does anybody ever hit the guy? And then we proceeded to knock him around.
Braves swept that series.
That's right.
2-2 from Duran. Swung on and missed. Went chasing after the splitter in the dirt. And 1 down in the 9th. Yeah, we just recently referenced that series because the Braves recently had the road sweep in Cleveland. And it was the Braves' first road sweep since that series you just referenced in Minnesota last year. 1-1 game, top of the 9th. Drake Baldwin 2 for 3, couple of singles. Duran brings it, and a first pitch ball low and inside. Last night, Duran faced Brujan, Profar, and Olsen. Anybody else is seeing him for the first time. 1-0 to Drakeson, fouled into the seats of the second deck along the left field line. A little high. This with a 102-mile-an-hour fastball. I think it just sounded high to Lance Barrett. I don't think he saw it.
How do you even call that?
Kicks and brings a 2-1. Drake takes ball 3. Missed with a 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Crowd doesn't like it, but that missed the entire inside corner.
Boy, if he grooves one here, it's going to go a long way.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. And Drake with a fly ball towards left field over by the line. Marsh right across the line makes the catch. Had just enough room on that very slender sliver of land in between the sidewall and the chalk. And 2 down here in the 9th inning. Now the Braves will send Jake Fraley to the plate to pinch hit for Sean Murphy. Murphy was 0 for 3 with a strikeout and hit into 2 double plays. So now Fraley, who had a few base hits earlier in this road trip in Miami, comes to the plate. He's a 206 hitter, 16 home runs this year. And he takes a ball high. Got the lefty bat of Fraley up there. Waiting on the 1-0 pitch. Trying to keep the Braves out of a 1-2-3 inning. He swings and misses a splitter. And now Duran, 1 strike away from getting through this inning. Rather, 2 strikes away, I should say, from getting through this inning. 1-2-3. 1-1 fouled back. Now 1 strike. Duran's so good that you just feel like you got to outlast him.
Yeah.
Get through his inning, then hope to get the game into extras. Tied at 1 in the top of the 9th. Now Fraley requesting time and having a quick chat with home plate umpire Lance Barrett. 13 pitches this inning for Duran. Braves have gone down in order 3 times in the game. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fraley takes a call, 3rd strike. Curveball locked him up. Braves go down 1-2-3. And the Phillies will be looking for 1 run in the bottom of the 9th. Braves will try to keep them quiet. We had that way, tied at 1.
From joyful occasions to the unexpected.
His frame. And the man looking to rain on that parade, right-handed closer Raisel Iglesias. Raisel has pitched in 57 games this season. ERA stands at 3.95, but he has lowered that by 2.8 points over the last 32 appearances. He's been really good as of late. Converted 11 straight save opportunities. Obviously not a save opportunity hitter tonight, but a very high leverage situation to pitch in.
And now he has to face a man who has owned him in his career. Here's Bryce Harper. He swings and fouls back the first pitch. The numbers for Harper in his career versus Iglesias about as grotesque as you'll ever see in the big leagues. Harper 6 for 11 with 4 home runs against Iglesias. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And a fly ball towards left field, going over to his left now, Profar, and he'll run it down for the out. That's a huge out for Raisel. Look, getting Bryce Harper is a big out for anybody, but especially with numbers like that.
Yeah, and I guarantee Iglesias knows about those numbers. So if you can get that, your nemesis out relatively easily, nice play in left by Jerkson, gives you a lot of confidence.
Helps you breathe a little bit easier, that's for sure. 1 down, here's JT Realmuto. Realmuto 2 for 11 in his career versus Iglesias. If we go to extras, Braves have the bottom of the order due up. Realmuto with a bouncer to third. That'll be scooped up. Knee-high hop over there to Nacho. He's got it and sends it to the bag for the out. 2 very swift outs in the bottom of the 9th. By the way, the Braves would have Fraley as the runner at second unless they wanted to send Eli White out there. But you'll cross that bridge when you get there. Still 1 out to get against a dangerous hitter in Alec Bohm. Bohm 3 for 11 in his career versus Iglesias. He swings at the first pitch and fouls one back. A 1-1 game in the bottom of the 9th. Phillies scored once in the bottom of the third on a homer by Weston Wilson. Braves tied it in the top of the sixth on RBI double by Matt Olson. 0-1 pitch. And Bohm sends one deep down the right field line, slicing foul and into the seats. Hit the screen, actually. And an 0-2 count on Bohm. So with 5 pitches, Iglesias has 1 strikeout from a 1-2-3 ninth. 0-2. He hangs alive, fouling one back to our right.
Yeah, if he keeps his pitch count down here, he could come back out next inning, secure a potential save for the visiting Braves.
He takes a deep breath. Kind of looks off down the left field line. Now focuses attention on the plate. 0-2 to Bohm. Low and outside with a slider. Matt Strahm is tossing for the Phillies in their bullpen. He's a lefty. 1-2. Tipped into the mitt for strike 3. So it is an 8-pitch inning for Raisel Iglesias. And he just ripped right through the Phillies there in the ninth. We go to the 10th upon our return, tied at 1.
What's the best kind of money? Well, how about instant?
Michael Harris digs into the box. He'll be digging against a new left-hander, Matt Strahm. We saw him. He worked a scoreless 7th inning last night with 1 hit and 1 walk in last night's win. That was his 57th appearance of the season.
Runner at second is Jake Fraley. So Fraley takes his lead at second base. Michael Harris awaits on the pitch on the way from Strahm. Swung on and pulled foul down the right field line. In extra innings this season, the Braves have gone 7-6, and the Phillies are 6-5. It's a 1-1 game in the top of the 10th. 0-1 on Michael Harris. Harris 0 for 3 in the game. 0-1 from Strahm. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Michael hoping to at least get Fraley over to third base. Nacho Alvarez on deck, then it'd be Vidal Brujan. Harris has the average at 250. Waiting on Strahm. 1-1 to the plate. He swings and lines one out to first, and a diving catch to his right by Bryce Harper. Harper to his right, able to time that perfectly. And the line out is perfectly executed by Harper, 1 down.
Third baseman, Nacho Alvarez Jr.
So now the rookie Nacho Alvarez gets a crack at Strahm. Second baseman Stott Shaded to his right, playing more up the middle versus Alvarez. First pitch to Nacho, fouled back, 0-1.
It'd be a great time for Nacho's first career home run, huh?
Oh, man.
Be one to remember.
On a Saturday night in this stadium in front of this crowd, it would be quite the memorable home run for Nacho. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Last night, Strom faced Brujan, Profar, Olsen, Acuna, and Albies. So Nacho seeing him for the first time. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way from the lefty. And a called strike. He thought it was outside. Slider looked to be away, but home plate umpire Lance Barrett says strike 2. And a 1-2 count on Nacho. He requests time and backs out of there. Phillies in the bottom of the inning would have Bohm as the runner at second with Castellanos, Bader, and Stott due up. And the Braves hoping to go into the bottom of the 10th inning with a lead. Fraley the runner at second base. 1-2 pitch. And he'll swing and send one foul into the second deck along the first baseline. Strom very tall and lean, very long hair down past his shoulders. Ball in a blue glove. Bennett the waist looking into his catcher, JT Realmuto. Now straightens. 1-2 to the plate. He swings and sends one foul to the right field line. Into the seats deep down the line, 1-2. Hunter Stratton now tossing for the Braves in the bullpen. Braves certainly would have a decision to make for the bottom of the 10th inning, as Iglesias only fired 8 bullets, so if you wanted to send him back out there, you could. But also Stratton tossing in the bullpen. Figure that out later. Need a run. Tied at 1 in the 10th. 1-2. That'll be lobbed into right field, down for a base hit. Coming around third base, Fraley. And he will sprint to the plate and score. Braves on top. It's a 2-1 Braves lead in the 10th. Nacho Alvarez sent a four-seam fastball into right field, and he picks up the RBI.
Number 17.
You hear that, Ben?
Pretty quiet.
Pretty quiet. I love that sound here.
Nacho just cast a hush over this crowd. That was the 7th RBI of the year for Nacho Alvarez. Now Brujan swings at a fly ball to left field. Brandon Marsh in line with it. Makes the catch, 2 down. Back to first base for Nacho Alvarez. The Braves will carry at least a 1-run lead into the bottom of the 10th. Sure would like one more run, though. Jerks and Profar's the batter, so back to the top of the order. Braves leading 2-1. Again, Phillies in the bottom of the inning. Castellanos, Bader, and Stott due up. That's 6, 7, and 8 in their order. Alvarez a lead at first base. Profar takes a first pitch strike. Slider up in the zone, but out away from him. A 1 from Strom. And Profar with a high fly ball towards deep right center field. Sprinting to his left, Bader. He gives way to Castellanos, and he makes the catch out in deep right field. And that ends the top of the 10th inning, but the Braves take the lead for the first time in the game. They score 1 run, which is...
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or man...
save of the season. Right-hander Hunter Stratton. He does have one save, but that was the 3-inning variety, and this is certainly a different animal than that one. He was recalled by the Braves on Sunday from AAA Gwinnett, and he has had some pretty good outings here for the Braves. A lot of strikeouts, no earned runs, usually in a long relief role.
Now facing Nick Castellanos, Bohm the runner at second. A 2-1 Braves lead, and the first pitch to Castellanos inside and hit him. That was a first pitch fastball that got him in the hand. So now the winning run is at first base for the Phillies.
Yeah, Castellanos doing his tough guy act. What he probably doesn't know is that Hunter Stratton's blood pressure is at about 300 over 275 right now. And he was not trying to throw at him.
I think it's a good point you brought up, thinking about the amount of stress in this save situation compared to his 3-inning save and a 10-1 win against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Night and day difference. So now Harrison Bader is the batter. We mentioned he's been swinging a really hot bat. He's 0 for 3 in this game with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. We continue to check on Castellanos. Bader, since joining the Phillies, is batting .313 with 7 extra base hits and 6 RBIs in 23 games. He's been a guy who has come through a lot since coming over from Minnesota. Bohm at second, Castellanos at first. Stratton deals. Low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And that was a slider nowhere near the zone.
Yeah. Stratton has a good heater. It's about 96. Second most used pitch is a slider. So we saw there. He's got to throw something he can get in the strike zone here.
Right on right matchup. Bader swings and misses. Was it a little bit surprising to you after the 8-pitch ninth that we didn't see Iglesias back out for a second inning?
Very, very surprising.
Braves have turned 1 double play in the game. 1-1 pitch fouled off into the upper deck along the first baseline.
Yeah, we've seen Rysel go multiple innings before. I know the Braves not likely to make the playoffs, but there's nothing better than beating the Phillies in their own home park. So, yeah, I was surprised Rysel didn't come back out for the 10th.
It's all on the shoulders of Stratton. And the 1-2 struck him out. Right at him with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That'll play.
98. We certainly have not seen any velos like that. But as I mentioned, this is a different animal than the situations we've seen him pitch in thus far.
Bryson Stott coming up to the plate, came along as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning and walked, and stayed in the game at second base. Only 5 guys on the current roster for the Phillies who have ever faced Stratton in their careers. Pitch on the way to Stott and a called strike. Stott has never seen Stratton. In fact, the only Phillies who have faced him, Bader, Harper, Realmuto, Turner, and Marsh, and they're combined 1 for 5 against him. The 1, a homer by Bader, who struck out just a moment ago. 0-1 to Stott. And a fly ball towards right, coming in. Acuna, can he get there? He can't. It's down in front of him. Bohm gets a stop sign at third and holds. Ronald was coming in, looked like he'd make it there, but at the last second hit the brakes and it landed right in front of him.
That almost hit him in the toe.
When you think about how Ronald was running earlier in the game to get that ball across the foul line, this time he couldn't make it there. And that'll be it for Stratton. Bases are loaded, 1 down for Marsh. And the Braves make the Pennington grass seat call to the bullpen. If you're looking to turn your lawn into the lawn that you've always wanted, turn to Pennington Grass Seed, the official partner of the Atlanta Braves grounds crew. Pennington Grass Seed, rooted in Braves country. Introduce you to the new Braves pitcher when we come back. Tied it around.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since
Of the year here. He has thrown in 19 games. This will be his 20th, and he's thrown well. 23 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, only 17 hits allowed. So Brian Snitker trying to piece together this bottom of the 10th, hopefully get the Braves out of here with a victory. This will certainly be a memorable first save for Dylan Dodd if he's able to pull it off.
Double play wins the game, but Marsh a really tough one to double up. He's only hit in a 2 all year. 2-1 Braves, first pitch to Marsh, a little bit low and outside. Marsh has seen Dodd a couple of times in his career. He's 1 for 2 with a single. Left on left matchup, Dodd versus Marsh. Marsh 1 for 1 in the game. 1-0 pitch. He swings and misses. One down with a cutter. Count even at 1. Tying run at third and Bohm. Winning run at second in Castellanos. Stott over at first base. A ball and a strike. 1-1. Chase and a miss. 1-2. Back-to-back good, sharp cutters from Dodd.
Yeah, Dodd usually better against righties, but Marsh has really big splits. Struggles against lefties, hitting in the low 100s against them.
See if he goes back to the cutter. Ahead 1-2. Dodd brings it. Ground ball foul down the first base line. This lefty Dodd, originally a starter for the Braves. He was in the rotation a few years ago for a brief time, but in the bullpen now and looking for 2 big outs here in the bottom of the 10th. His 1-2, and he got him looking. Strike 3. Used a cutter, and Marsh went down looking at it, and the Phillies down to their final out. But the tying run is at third, the winning run is at second, and the bat is in the hands of the ever-dangerous Trey Turner. Turner is 0 for 4 in his career versus Dodd. And Turner tonight 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, a walk, and a strikeout. First pitch from Dodd. He swings, pops one up, foul territory, over by the railing and into the seats, 0-1. Braves trying to hold on, trying to claw their way to a victory tonight, and holding on by their fingernails here in the bottom of the 10th. Bases loaded, 2 down here in the bottom of the 10th inning. It's a 2-1 Braves lead. Dodd deals. 0-1 fouled off into the upper deck along the first baseline, and the Phillies down to their final swing. Dodd surrounded by Phillies. Right in the middle of 43,000 wild fans. Looking for one more strike. 0-2. Ground ball right side, a base hit. The game's at least tied. Scoring Bohm. Here comes Castellanos. Turner burns the Braves again. The heartbroken Braves walk off the field. They were 1 strike away from a win. And Trey Turner laced one through the right side, just past Matt Olson. The runner at first base was Stott. And it's probably difficult for Olson to see that one coming his way with Stott right there, and couldn't react quick enough and get there. And the 2-run scores, they're running on contact. And the Phillies stay hot. And they have taken 3 straight versus the Braves. For the Phillies in the 10th, 2 runs off of 2 hits. No errors, and they win it by a final score of 3-2 in 10. Back with the totals after this.
Fall is here, but it's